These images.
Today on Fresno State Focus, the first edition of the Collegian Paw Print magazine is available today.
And the use of artificial intelligence is prevalent, but what impact does it have on journalism? We talk with some fellow students and a Fresno State professor for some perspective.
Plus, with fraternity troubles at San Diego State, we'll take a look at how Fresno State's fraternities are reacting. Fresno State Focus starts now.
Hello and welcome to Fresno State Focus. I'm Jacqueline Alvarez.
And I'm Liam Cavaletto. As tensions grow between Israel and Palestinians following the attack from Hamas this weekend, the collateral damage and human lives lost are also growing.
The State Department says that the number of U.S. citizens confirmed killed in the Israel-Hamas war is now 22, within at least 17 Americans unaccounted for.
Most of the missing are among the 150 hostages captured by Hamas over the weekend, and horrifying discoveries are being reported today, including reports that in at least one village, infants and toddlers were found decapitated, claims that Hamas denies.
These images and the depravity of Hamas has got to be addressed. They've got to be neutralized.
For now, Israel is amassing troops and preparing for a ground offensive in Gaza. And as a show of support, the U.S. military is moving a second aircraft carrier toward the Mediterranean Sea.
We just had the opportunity to talk with a Palestinian-American woman who has family in the West Bank. Getting out after this weekend attack was chaos. She got out before her adult daughter and recounts what was happening at the checkpoint. And she safely got through because her taxi driver was presumed to be Jewish.
And if you were Jewish, they'd let you go by. And if you were Palestinian, they were killing you and dragging you under the car, which is the video image I received. And I had left before my daughter, and I knew she had to go through that same checkpoint. But I didn't know this happened until after she made it. So I spoke with the driver, and he said, well, we have a yellow license plate, and they think I'm Jewish. I'm like, great. So it's touch and go.
Mansour was born and raised in the U.S. Her mother and father were born and raised in Palestine, and they were there in 1948 during what the Palestinians call the Nakba catastrophe. She and her family fled to Jordan, but some of her family was killed as they tried to flee. For many who call this part of the world home, a painful story is repeating itself.
7 fraternities on the San Diego State campus are on interim suspension. They are under investigation for violating the code of conduct for the Greek system. Fresno State has its own large Greek system with over 1,000 students. Many policies are in place here at Fresno State to keep students safe, including anti-hazing, alcoholic beverage policy, and a student organization handbook. These policies are taken very serious. Any violation is thoroughly investigated and reviewed. For more information, visit studentaffairs.fresnostate.edu. The Collegian newspaper is now digital. The printing ended at the end of last semester, but that doesn't mean they're completely done having something tangible for students to read. Today, the Collegian released its first ever edition of The Paw Print. The magazine shares stories of what is happening on campus, written by our own student journalist. The editors of the Collegian spent hours on the magazine, and they are happy with the results.
I think it came out really well. I was not expecting it to come out this good. Seeing a byline in print always makes the work worth it.
This is just one of the 2 editions the Collegian will put out. You can also find their digital stories on the mobile app called College News Source.
Artificial intelligence is a big topic of discussion lately. In Hollywood, it's one of the concerns for striking actors and the writers whose strike just ended. On campuses around the country, it's an ethical concern for student papers and speeches. What about its impact on journalism? I talked with fellow Fresno State students and a professor to hear what they have to say. From the writer's strike to the classroom, artificial intelligence and its consequences are everywhere these days, especially in journalism.
It lacks the human element.
Renee Rodriguez is a broadcast journalism student at Fresno State. As a journalist, Rodriguez says he is wary about using AI as a news source or as a way to help write his own stories.
The AI itself can be compromised. So you never know when the actual artificial intelligence, the algorithm, can produce misleading or biased information.
I feel like I'm a creative person as it is.
Catalisi is also a broadcast journalism student at Fresno State. She says she's wary of using AI because you can never trust the source.
In creating things, I think it's better to capture genuineness and not something that's just been regurgitated from whatever sources AI pulls from.
And with AI expected to increase at an annual growth rate of 37.3% between 2023 and 2030, it's worth asking what the future may hold for journalism. Donald Monroe is an MCJ professor as well as a faculty advisor for the student campus newspaper, The Collegian.
Usually, stories that are written by AI are really bad.
Because Monroe says AI misses something important in journalism, a human connection,
I still can't imagine that robot going out and actually finding a story and figuring out the best angle, doing reporting, developing kind of empathy with the subject.
And Monroe hopes AI will not play a role in journalism's future. However, the AI industry is growing fast. By 2030, it is estimated to add $15.7 trillion to the world economy. That will be a 14% boost to the world GDP.
What better way to get to know each other and their cultures than over a big old cup of joe? That's the mantra of International Coffee Hour, organized by the International Student Association and room 2206 in the library of Fresno State. International Coffee Hour happens every month. It was organized by the International Office on campus, but it is now solely put together by the ISA, and here's why.
They had some restrictions as to which countries they could use, but like us students, we have the freedom to everything. So we don't have that problem. We don't face that problem. We could have all the countries, we're open to everyone.
Absolutely everyone. International Coffee Hour is free and open to the public, not just students. This month, they featured Mexico with guest speaker Jerry Gomez. Feel free to visit them in this month to come to learn about India and Armenia.
If you were wondering what was happening outside the RSU today, Off-Campus Student Life hosted lunch for commuters. Commuter lunch time was from 11 to 1. Students were given free acai bowls and candy. Some students say events like these are really helpful for commuters to make sure they don't go hungry.
Personally, me, I have to drive away from Wrigley, which is like 45 minutes away, so I have to get up pretty early to just come to class. So I sometimes forget to even have my own breakfast or anything to snack on before class. So just having this really helps me out to not go hungry.
Lunchtime commuters was a big hit among students. The line stretched from the RSU to speech arts. They even ran out of bowls before the event wrapped up. Joining me now from Off-Campus Student Life is Jerry Gomez, here to talk about the great lunch. Jerry, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely. Happy to be here, Leon.
Thank you. So I want to ask you, first of all, what kind of turnout did you have for this event, and was it more students than you were expecting?
We had a lot more students that we were expecting, definitely. We purchased a total of 250 units, and within less of an hour, we ran out of tickets, and every student looked really happy to receive their bowl of acai.
Awesome. And I wanted to ask, do you have another lunchtime commuters event planned for any time in the near future?
Absolutely. We have one more planned in November. So we're hoping to bring one more commuter lunchtime along with 2 good evening commuters.
And what date for the day in November? Do you know yet?
I believe we're going for November 8th, but there might be a change because of the vendor. But I will keep you all updated.
Okay.
They can definitely stay in touch with Off-Campus Student Life Instagram.
Awesome. And for students that are interested in this, how do they get involved? And is there a way to follow your pages? Do you have social media or something?
Absolutely. We have social media. So the best way to stay in touch with Off-Campus Student Life is to follow us on OCSL program. And then we're also located at the RSU, at the Resnick Student Union, room 314. If they ever have any questions like whether about the program or our events, they can always go to reception in room 314.
So if you're a student here at Fresno State, what is the benefit of doing the lunchtime commuters or any of the other things that you offer?
The number one purpose with our events is to build a sense of belonging. Something we see with a lot of commuter students is that they struggle to feel that sense of community and to get involved. So our number one goal with all of our events is to make sure that students are connecting with other students, with programs, and what better way than to connect students with food, right? Mm-hmm. One of the things that we focus a lot on is taking care of the holistic health and wellness of the student. So definitely we want to tackle food insecurity. So.
All right, that sounds great. Jerry Gomez, thank you for your time today. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
As you know, fall is here, which means everything pumpkin. But now pumpkins are getting dressed up. And Cameron Butler takes us to a small business in Sanger to get an insight on how pumpkins are getting a succulent twist.
And that's the coolest thing is because we don't cut into the pumpkin. So we're spraying here, and we actually glue the moss down.
That's right. No pumpkin carving at all here. This crafty and fun way is a take on fall that lasts longer than you would expect. These homemade pumpkin decorations can last up to 6 months. But all of this wouldn't be possible without the main ingredient.
Succulents, for sure, were my gateway, and they're a lot of fun, and they're a lot of fun to collect. I think that's why people really get into it, because there's so many different shapes and sizes and colors that you just want to collect them all.
Many workshops are held 3 days a week at different times so people can come out with friends while they make their fall decor come to life.
And so it's been fun to have a little getaway on the weekend and get together and laugh and joke and then see what everybody else is doing and come away with a really beautiful project.
While the plethora of pumpkins and succulents can be overwhelming to choose from, that's all part of the process to make it yours. From now until the end of October, or while supplies last, you're able to decorate a pumpkin of your choosing for your office or home to give it the real fall vibes, or you can use a succulent like this or like this and use it to decorate your home any time of the year.
And everyone gets so worried that, oh my gosh, how are succulents going to grow without their soil? But they absolutely love to be in this moss.
From Sanger for Fresno State Focus, Cameron Butler.
There are quite a few nurseries and shops helping people make these succulent pumpkins. For the place Cameron just showed us, look for Country Roots Sanger online.
Coming up on Fresno State Focus.
The Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies Department unveils a new minor at this weekend's Rainbow Wonderland event.
Plus, it was a little bit chilly this morning. Will that continue? I'll give you more of an insight with your focus on weather after the break.
I got the bulldog spirit up in my head.
Up in my head. Up in my head. I got that bulldog spirit up in my head. Up in my head to stay. I got that bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Deep in my heart. Got that bulldog spirit deep in my heart. Deep in my heart to stay. I got that bulldog spirit down in my toes. Down in my toes. Down in my toes, I got that bulldog spirit. Down in my toes, hey! Down in my toes to stay. I got that bulldog spirit. Up in my head, deep in my heart. Down in my toes, I got that bulldog spirit. All over me to stay. I got that bulldog spirit.
Deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart, deep in my heart. I got that bulldog spirit.
Here in the valley, our colors are blue and our waves are red. Bulldog born and bulldog bred. From Sweeney to Hill, Carr to Tedford, those iconic lights and that old checkerboard. Inside Bulldog Stadium, we are one. This is our valley, and this year, we're doing it for you.
What's poppin'? I'm Ricky Oaks with your Focus on Weather. As you take a look at the Fresno State water fountain, you see a little bit of a breeze hovering around the trees. I'll get some more of that in a bit. Let's go ahead and take a look at the national satellite. And as you can see here, we have a storm brewing around the Gulf of Mexico, making its way up toward Louisiana, Mississippi. But that's not the only storm brewing, as we've gotten a little bit of precipitation here out in the west as well. We actually had snow hit up in Nevada, and it's making its way into Utah. It will not affect the game on Friday. Taking a look at today's highs, the rest of the Central Valley hovering at around the 70s, but one thing to keep an eye on is that 48 up in Shaver Lake, because it's going to get even colder tonight and tomorrow morning as well, as they're expecting to hit a temperature of close to freezing at 33 degrees. And then even though it's here, it's going to be roughly around 54 here in Fresno. You got places like Madera, Mendota as well. They're going to be at the high 40s. So if you are going out, please bring a jacket. And alongside that, we look at the air quality as well. It's good to moderate. However, do keep in mind with the wind and the breeze we have, pollen is going to be in the air. So be cautious because you might get the sniffles later on. And we go ahead and take a look at the extended outlook. Heading toward the Fresno Fair, they're going to be in the high 80s. So good weather for the fair. And that is going to be your weekly outlook. I'm Ricky Oaks with your Focus on the Weather. Back to Liam and Jackie.
Thank you, Ricky. The big Fresno Fair is in full swing still with 4 more days to go.
Cameron Butler is live at the Fresno State Fair in the Ag Building to show us all about the nature that comes from our communities.
Yeah, so I'm in the agriculture building here at the fair, and I'm with Cindy Suarez, the agriculture superintendent, where we have a lot of different cities here from the valley that goes to show our ag. And what you may not know is a lot of this stuff, which Cindy can say, is if different cities grow different things. Like this, what is it called again?
It's a lemon citron.
Okay.
And it's a fingered lemon that they use for fragrances.
Yeah. Really cool looking if you guys can see it. I mean, this is a open hand one too. We're talking about too, which is used for something different than the closed hand. But also too, we realized that all this stuff too from different regions, like oranges, for example, they're not orange. What other colors can oranges be?
Oranges can be pink, they can be green, yellow, they can be a variety of different colors.
Yeah, and that's pretty cool because if you go to check out certain ones over there, you will see the different colors in those oranges and in those fruits too. But each region has something different. Turpin is known for their
Herman's a wide variety. They have grapes and they have the citrus as well. It's with honey, pomegranates, and persimmons.
And also here too, we have right here behind us, we have some beeswax and different honey. And also you were talking about too, honey goes by taste and color.
It is. Wherever the beekeepers put the honey boxes, the bees will help pollinate that crop, and then your honey has that which is utilized a lot for people that might have allergies in that area. That actually helps tone down their allergies.
And that's something cool. A lot of us in the valley do have pretty bad allergies and experience that too. Perfect. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Got 9 different communities here.
Perfect. Yeah, so we are at the Fresno Fair. Thank you, Cindy, for meeting us here today. Back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Cameron, looks like you're learning a lot there. Thank you for that. Now we'll send it over to Jackie.
The Public Health Department is a section of our college that many students might not be familiar with. Today, I'm joined with Dr. Rohan Jadhav, the Assistant Professor for the Department of Public Health at Fresno State. Welcome to our studio.
Thanks for inviting me.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good, good. And so I wanted to ask you, you mentioned to me previously that you are from India and started practicing medicine there. Can you tell me how that experience has shaped how you teach public health?
So I practiced medicine in India, and we had a subject called preventive medicine in medical school. And from that experience, as well as when I was practicing in India, I realized that instead of treating one patient at a time, treating the entire community is so much more important. So then it came to my mind that I should study public health, so I moved to the United States and did my master's and PhD. And that's how I decided to get into this wonderful realms of public health.
Nice. And so, now you're here at Fresno State after all that studying that you did in India. So I'm wondering, what type of research are you doing here at Fresno State?
In my research recently, I published a paper in 2021 in Journal of International Journal for Environmental Health and Public Health Research, and that paper was focused on risk factors for urticaria hives among people who are living in the Central Valley. So what I essentially looked at is the weather pattern in the Central Valley, because essentially we live in a bowl, and the farm workers, farming is such a predominant industry, which is kind of contributing to the pollution. So I looked into those risk factors.
Oh, I see. Well, that's pretty great research, and we definitely need you here in the Central Valley. Well, thank you for being here, and back to you, Liam.
Thank you.
The Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies Department is gearing up for a community event this weekend at Gazebo Gardens. The nursery will be transformed this Sunday, October 15th, to accommodate Rainbow Wonderland. Rainbow Wonderland raises money to create the first ever scholarship for LGBTQ+ studies. The scholarship will be available to students enrolled in the newly created LGBTQ2+ Studies Minder.
So this scholarship would be available to students who are enrolled in the minor. And what's really cool about it is that, most students who are taking the minor are coming from all across the university.
Tickets are almost sold out. We understand that last chance reservations are still available for the next 24 hours. To snag your reservation, go to fresnostate.imodules.com. It's more than just the game on Saturday. We have an update on the status of the injured players. And a local club cheers on soccer in hopes of seeing players go pro. We'll show you how cheers like this help our women's soccer team. Plus, a club team becomes unfrozen after 4 years. Stay tuned for sports with Ricky Oakes.
Here in the valley, our colors are blue and our waves are red. Bulldog born and bulldog bred. Generations linked forever by traditions that have stood the test of time. Inside our stadiums, we are one. This is our valley, and this year, we're doing it for you.
At Fresno State, being bold means committing to something greater than yourself. It's learning by doing and nurturing leaders to advance our shared future. It's using research to create a better life for those around us and healing those who need us most. These are our stories, because at Fresno State, bold begins here.
Welcome back. I'm Ricky Oakes with your Focus on Sports. Fresno State football suffered its first loss of the season this past Saturday in Wyoming as it fell to the Cowboys 24-19. However, the story of the week, the uncertain future surrounding Mikey Keene. The Bulldogs quarterback injured his right ankle in the third quarter and was doubtful to play against Utah State this Friday. Assuming Keene is unable to play, Fresno State will turn to backup quarterback Logan Fife. Head coach Jeff Tedford also announced that starting quarterback Cam Lockridge will miss the remainder of the season with a torn pectoral. A local club, El Escadron, cheers on Fresno State players in hopes of seeing them go from the collegiate level to professional. El Escadron started back in 2019. You can find the club in the stands playing live music and chanting for the Fresno State women's soccer team. The co-founder wants to be the extra motivation for the players to reach the next level in the sport. He wants the players of the women's soccer team to get the recognition they deserve.
Put in that 110% to get them a contract, to get them signed at the professional level. And I mean, players coming out of Fresno State, I mean, it's always going to be a big thing for us here being born and raised in Fresno.
The women's soccer team is playing with that motivation the local club is betting on. They practice almost every day, and they recently beat Wyoming with a score of 2-0. They hit the road tomorrow to play Utah State. El Escarron will continue to cheer on the women's soccer team at the remaining home games of the season. Fresno State's main athletics have been in full swing for some time, but so have club sports. I had the chance to check in with one of these teams, which has been waiting to hit its icy home for nearly 4 years. Ice has been drawn into our Fresno State football team on campus, but off campus, students are also hitting the ice. The Fresno State Hockey Club plays at the Gateway Ice Center on the west side of Fresno, and is getting the state's back in the ring after a long 4-year hiatus. A part of the reason why it took so long to get the team back was because of its club status.
It was painstaking.
After COVID hit, a lot of clubs were out of commission, but with some help, the Pups are finally biting again.
We started in January, but we had a lot of help with the university, like Dr. Willis. Having his support helped out tremendously, and we were able to pick this off the ground. There was a lot of sleepless nights, but it was all worth it. The fans love it.
Along with the new season, it also comes with a brand new look for the Dogs, including new branding and new jerseys. This came with a lot of help from the university.
A long history of successful club sports programs, and so we thought that joining the American Collegiate Hockey Association and getting this team going would be just a real good way to showcase the interest that our students have, but just the many different talents that we have on campus.
With the hockey club coming back, so are the fans. The crowd was sitting up and close to the action, something the players love to see.
That was awesome seeing the crowd. Even the student section was going crazy. I thought they were going to break the glass.
You will have an opportunity to see the checks and hits in person this weekend. The Dogs will have a 3-game homestand at the Gateway Ice Center. You can also watch the action on the Fresno State Hockey Club Twitch channel as well. We know when the hockey team is playing. Now what about the rest of Fresno State athletics? Let's go ahead and have a look. As I said earlier, tomorrow, women's soccer travels to Logan to play Utah State at 2 p.m. The volleyball team will be in the St. Martin Center tomorrow night as they go head-to-head against San Diego State at 6. Swing into action on Friday and Sunday is the women's tennis team at the ITA Regionals up in Stanford. The football team will be looking to bounce back as they face the Aggies of Utah State at 5 o'clock. Yes, it's a Friday night game. They're on the road again. Then running into the weekend is the cross-country team as they compete in the Bronco Invite up in Sunnyvale. And volleyball will have some afternoon action at 1 o'clock as they take on UNLV at the St. Martin Center. And that's been your Focus on Sports. Back to Jackie and Liam to take us down the home stretch.
Thank you, Ricky. Well, now homecoming festivities are getting underway and students and staff are encouraged to get involved.
The Staff Assembly Executive Committee is hosting its annual homecoming decorating contest with a bit of a twist this year. Student booths in the free speech area of campus are encouraged to get involved by decorating the outside of their booths.
Staff are asked to decorate their office areas or office doors. Some students are already making plans for decorations.
He was saying like a bulldog, like a little banner, maybe something, like some streamers, maybe. I don't really know, but we're gonna decorate it.
The theme for this year's competition is "There's no place like no other" here at Fresno State. Sign-ups are open now.
To get involved, head over to the Fresno State campus news page. Voting will be October 25th. Winners will be announced October 27th.
Thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Fresno State Focus.
We'll see you next week. Have a good evening.